Okay, now let's go for the hanging lamp. I'm gonna use a sphere. So let's draw a sphere here and bring it up. Let's make it just a bit bigger. So I'm gonna increase the radius still more. And now press R to go to scale mode and scale it down on Z. Great, now let me reduce the sides to 16. So it should be fine. Now I'm gonna add a editable poly on top and select every other loop. Great, now add a push modifier. You could either push it inside if you think the size of the lamp is more than what you want, or you could push it out, just like so. Then I'm gonna add a turbo smooth or a mesh smooth. Add iteration of 2. Let's go back to push and increase it more. Great. Now on top of push, I'm gonna add a edit poly and bring this one down. Great. Do the same thing for here. Bring this one up. Great. Now let's add a cylinder. I'm gonna enable the auto grid so I can the right personalize to here and just bring it here. Okay, let me decrease the height segment and increase the radius. Great. Now I would do the same thing for the bottom, so let me go instance. Unless you're going to do a close-up, you really do not need to chamfer the edges, so I'm okay with that. Okay, let's select them all and let's go group. First group them, then I'm gonna scale them down. Great. Now I'm gonna isolate this one, go to front view and grab my line tool and just draw a line. Go to rendering mode and enable in viewport and renderer. Okay, go to top view and just bring it in place. So this should be fine. Let's go to perspective view and exit isolation mode. Yeah, I guess this is fine. And we'll place it later, so let's group it. Okay, next I'm gonna build a floor lamp. So I'm gonna start with a box. Let's increase the width and length. Probably even more. So this is fine. Now I'm gonna add a couple of height segments, or even more than that. Now let's go add a twist modifier. Alright, so this is fine. Let's add a poly modifier and select all of the edges that you want to chamfer. I'm gonna isolate this one so I can select the bottom loop. Great. Now I can go to chamfer and add a bit of chamfer. Okay, so this should be fine. Now I'm going to create a sphere. And let's make it a hemisphere. Okay, so this is fine. I'm gonna duplicate this around instance and also to here. You may make them bigger if you want, but that's fine for me. We also need a cable or a cord. So let's create a line. Bring it up. I'm gonna change its parameters from 1 centimeter to probably 1.5. And also change it to be an adaptive interpolation. Okay, so this should be fine. Now I'm gonna select all of those and go group. And we'll place it later. So I'm gonna put it aside. Next, I'll be building the floor lamp. Okay, so I'll be starting by making the base first. So let's start with a cylinder. Okay, and convert it to editable poly and select all of the edges around the top, and I'm gonna be adding a chamfer. Or in fact, I guess let me undo a couple of times. Since I'm not gonna be smoothing this one, I'll be having a lot of more sides, so I'm gonna go for 32. This is smooth enough, so now let's convert it to editable poly. Select the top row of edges and now add a chamfer. I'm gonna increase the thickness to probably 3 or even more. Let's go for 4. It's too much. Let's go for 3.2. So this should be fine. Okay, I'm gonna select both of these and Alt Q to isolate those. Go to front view. And I'm gonna grab my line tool again. And draw a line like that. Now let's decrease the size to 0.2 or 0.4. So this should be fine. Okay, now let's go to top view and bring this one in place. Okay, press 1 and select this vertex and push it inside the lamp. Okay, now let's add a couple more lines. I'm gonna select my line tool again, press F3 so I can see it in viewport, and draw a line. I'm gonna draw a line here as well. So in fact I should draw those in front view, so let's go to front view and grab the line tool again. Great. So I can select all of these, press Alt Q to isolate those, and I'm gonna select one of those and go to attach. Okay, now let's get out of the isolation mode. I'm gonna go to shaded mode so we can see them better. Let's go to top view and again bring them where they belong. Okay, go to perspective mode and increase their thickness to 3. Okay, now I go to segment mode and move some of those around. I also have to move that vertex, okay, and there is one more here. This one's pretty fine. So let's go to this line and select this vertex, bring it up. Okay, so that is great. Okay, so I guess this is fine. If you want, you could add chamfer to some of these, but I guess they are so tiny that it won't be visible anyways, unless you're going to have a close-up. In that case, which you have to add chamfer. Okay. Now I'm gonna select this one and probably this one. Go Alt Q to isolate those. I'm gonna go to front view and let's create a geosphere under the extended primitives, or in fact it's under the standard primitives, that is geosphere, and create one in here. Then bring it down. So let's make it bigger. I'm gonna go for 30 and bring it down. Okay, so I guess this should be fine. Now I'm gonna add an editable poly on top, and under the polygon modeling ribbon I'm gonna select the generate topology and select the last one in here. So that should be fine. Now close this one. Let's add a slice modifier. Press 1 and rotate this one 90 degrees. Alright, now remove the bottom. Great. Now let's go to edit poly again and select all of these. and extrude them out. Go to extrude. Great. Hit OK. Okay, now what I need is a turbo smooth, or you could add a mesh smooth. Doesn't make any difference. So I'm gonna add a turbo smooth. Okay, I have to increase the iterations to 4. So this would be our lamp. Now I select this one again and disable the iteration on the viewport and make the render iteration to be 4. So this should be fine, and I'm gonna place this one a little more precise. Okay, now I'm gonna add another edit poly on top. Select the outer edges. Let's go to front view so I can drag a marquee to select those edges. Great, with these edges selected, I'm gonna detach them. So let's right click and go detach, which I don't have it here, so let's bring up our ribbon. I'm gonna go detach and shift click detach, so I have the option box. I'm sorry, the shortcut is alt click on any of these icons will bring the option box. So I'm gonna detach as clone, hit OK, and I can delete this editable poly which I don't need. So I'm gonna select this thing, go alt Q to isolate this one, go to front view, and I'm gonna delete some of these. Great, now we have this one. Let's select all of the polygons, get out of the isolation mode and extrude them down. Let's go to extrude. Okay. You could also select all of these and let me go to front view to make it easier to select, if I can select those. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on the by angle and bring up this value so I can select some of these. Let's see. Okay, so I have a feeling that some of these vertices are not welded together, so let me Ctrl A all of the vertices and go weld. Great. And in fact, some of these have some faces inside, so I'm gonna delete all of those faces. Okay, so I guess now I can select all of the vertices and go weld. Great. Okay, so they're all welded together. Let me try this again. I guess we have an issue here, but doesn't matter since no one's gonna notice this thing here, so that's fine. Now I'm gonna select all of these faces. let me disable the bi-angle and select the faces. And obviously all of these are having the inverted normals, so first I'm gonna select all of these and invert the normals. So let's go here and go flip. Now go to front view and let's see if I can select these. Okay, fine. Now I'm gonna go to top view and remove the inside ones. Now let's get out of the isolation mode, go to perspective view and add a push modifier and push them out. Okay, now this should be fine. So this is it for this part of the tutorial, and in the next tutorial we'll continue the rest.